Hey all, welcome to the third Massview, interviews where the questions come primarily from you guys. Today we'll be going over the interview I had with Kenichi Nishi, game designer who founded multiple studios such as Love the Lick, Skip, and his own private company, Route 24. But today we'll primarily be talking about koROBO, a game by Tiny Wonder Studio, a studio consisting of former Skip members where Kenichi Nishi along with Kita Ito and Hiroshi Moriyama are directors. In case you haven't heard about koROBO, it's an upcoming action-adventure game with elements taken from Chibi-Robo while still being its own thing. While the Kickstarter for koROBO has finished, you're still able to back the game to secure your copy of it when it's set to release in December 2025 on Steam and 2026 on console. Without further ado, let's speak to Kenichi Nishi, director of koROBO and Chibi-Robo, field planner of the original Super Mario RPG, designer of LOL, and much, much more. Question 1. When did koROBO enter development? We have not started development yet. We are crowdfunding on Kickstarter and Campfire to raise funds in order to develop koROBO. For more clarification, koROBO is intentionally rough looking. The original trailer that was shown was only of a prototype, to enter full development once fully funded. But the concept of koROBO was conceived near the end of last year, and the actual production we've seen so far was mostly done in about 3 months. Question 2. In a recent Kickstarter update, it was made explicit that koROBO was designed to be plain and uncool. Is this just because koROBO is supposed to be a knockoff, or does it go deeper than that? I think mainstream hit products are often sophisticated and cool. However, I personally have grown attached to koROBO and see it as a buddy with a human touch rather than plain and uncool. I designed the naval power switch with the concept of an uncool, tacky, human-like navel, but I think it will start to look lovable. Question 3. Will koROBO have any sidekicks similar to Television? We are considering having a sidekick character, but I cannot give a definitive answer yet. It all comes down to funding, but I think we'll most likely see one based on fan demand, but the scope of these kinds of things are determined by the Kickstarter, which did pretty well, and of course you can still support it now. Question 4. koROBO is described as a knockoff. Does this mean koROBO takes place in the same universe as who I think it does? It's not a knockoff robot necessarily, but a robot that Tom gets as a birthday gift. That reference was just a coincidence as koROBO takes place in its own world, completely separate from Chibi-Robo. Question 5. How are you looking to make the cast of characters in the game, and how in-depth do you intend to be with those character schedules, day/night patterns, etc.? Currently, the minimum character count is 5, but the rest depends on the funding for development. My initial idea is about 20 characters. Question 6. Games a lot of the team were involved in, such as Moon RPG, Giftpia, Captain Rainbow, etc., feature concepts such as happy points, fixing people's lives, or following characters through a day-night cycle. What keeps you returning to these ideas, and are you worried you'll run out of new ways to approach them? The reason I continue to use these concepts is because I believe that people and the world change over time and space, and I want the players to feel that. After getting to see the superficial side of something, wouldn't it be more profound to see the face behind the scenes? Question 7. How will nighttime work since koROBO is solar powered? It uses solar to charge, but is battery powered, so to some extent it can run at night on a daytime charge, but I am sure that Tom will make some magical modifications to koROBO so that it can use various types of energy. Question 8. In a hypothetical world, in the future, would the team work on Chibi-Robo again if given the opportunity? I don't know about the rest of the team, but I personally don't think so. However, I would be willing to consider it if the opportunity came up. Question 9. A bit of a personal question. As someone who's very interested in second-party game companies like Alpha Dream, when working at Skip/Vanpool, what was it like working as a second-party game studio for Nintendo? How much would you say the environment has changed compared to now working independently? I learned a lot of life lessons. I have a lot of good memories and I am full of gratitude, but it was too much for me at that time. I did become independent and gained freedom, but on the other hand, I still think about what a friend of mine once said: there is nothing more inconvenient than freedom. This is really interesting to me. Of course there are going to be good memories, but it is definitely challenging, especially considering he was a co-founder and he had stated before that he felt like working on a large project with a large group of people limited his freedom in designing games. From what I've seen, that sentiment seems to be true all around. Question 10. What led to developing koROBO as a PC game first with the console port as a stretch goal, rather than solely focusing on a console release? We intend to make koROBO for console users, but I am sure there will be many business-related matters to address. Until that day comes, please support us. May the koROBO be with you. That's all for this Massview. Leave a comment if there's anyone involved in a certain game series you'd like me to have one of these with, and I'll try my best as long as it's within reason. Thank you so much for watching.